Hey everybody, welcome back to Season 4 of Antimatters. Please make sure to find us and resubscribe.
We're on iTunes and Spotify and
Stitcher,
and like basically anywhere you could find a really good podcast. And while you're at it, go ahead and add us on Twitter and Instagram. You can find us under ship name Drake.
Yeah, did we lost a bunch of people in the move from our hosts, so please check that you are still subscribed.
Very important.
We lost a bunch of subscribers on that, so
find us. We're funny.
Same name.
Please.
Just you have to do it again.
Welcome to the new season. We're super excited. Only place to go is up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because we're at rock bottom.
Yeah, we're terrible.
Please help us.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. And we didn't sound too desperate. Oh, wow. Isaac. So, Enter the Spider-Verse, man. Great suggestion for a movie. That was so good.
Fantastic.
Right?
That was, like, I loved it.
I told you. Like, I know you're not really into superhero movies, but I thought, like, I was like,
no,
this
one's definitely probably my favorite superhero movie now.
Definitely best Spider-Man.
Definitely best Spider-Man. And we'll get back to this, but Isaac, I just want to say, I mean, for the past couple of days, dude, you've been, I mean, awesome. Like we went.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Truly.
Like we went fishing the other day. You sat down and watched Waterworld with me all day. I mean, hell, we played baseball all day yesterday. Remember?
And he watched 3 seasons of Criminal Minds with me.
See, like,
he's just been a really good friend lately.
Guys, I didn't do any of that, so I don't know what you're talking about. I definitely wouldn't do that.
What?
You did. We high five. We made we quilted a blanket together.
You remember when Reed had a drug addiction, but like overcame it? And
are you guys high? What does that mean? Like,
what?
Does that sound like something I would do? Or?
A little, but that's not the point. You don't remember we sat on the dock and we fished as the sun was going down, and you know you said that you were like, I'm your best friend in the whole world and all that.
Nathan, I'm cool to do that, but no, we didn't. So I don't. And
you shaved your mustache and beard.
I didn't shave.
You were thinner. Yeah.
Yeah. He had that big old. You had the big old burly beard.
Yeah.
What? Like a big old lumberjack beard.
I thought something was different today.
And those eyes you had were just piercingly beautiful.
Right to my soul.
Like they felt like I could get lost in it and feel safe.
Thank you, but I haven't changed my beard. This is my beard. I can't really grow it. It's a little patchy. I'm going to go ahead and admit it's a little patchy. I think it's going to come out, you know?
It's very patchy. It's bad.
Listen.
I wouldn't call it a beard.
I'm a late bloomer, you know?
Wait.
So it's going to come in.
It's like you just put like glue on your face and fell down on a carpet. It looks bad.
Well, I did do that. I'm hoping the beard will come in, you know, if I let it give a little bit of seed growth, a little bit of fertilizer or something.
I don't.
So how do you explain the past week then?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I've been in my room mostly just watching movies, playing video games. I didn't really hang out with you guys this week.
We had a wonderful time.
Do you think, Nathan, that it might have something to do with our experiment?
The warp drive? There's no way.
Yeah. I mean, it was an asterisk effect.
But I mean, there's no way. Like, we just made that to create rifts where we could just get around toll booths and stuff. There's no way.
Yeah. But do you think maybe we opened some sort of
Okay, stop. What the hell are you guys talking about? What happened?
Well, like in Spider-Verse. The thing that Kingpin made?
Oh, that super collider thing?
Yeah.
That was super cool.
We did that.
There's a lot of toll booths in this area, so
Sure.
I asked Malik to help make one to get around the toll booth. I ain't got $1.50. Come on.
Every single time? We run through them like every half hour.
Yeah. What?
Computer, can you... I don't know how to say this. I'm not a physicist, but could you do some sort of analysis on space-time? Did they fuck up space?
There's no way. There's no way we did.
Let's see this graph.
Oh.
All right. Well, so as you can see here, this is our dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all the dimensions that you, I don't know, created.
Cool.
Or are now parallel to ours.
Uh-huh.
And so you're not following me at all. You're not even looking at what I'm...
No, I got my Game Boy.
I kind of want to know where Cool Isaac went.
Yeah, I kind of miss him.
Damn, you're ugly.
Okay, computer, that was a low blow.
Like, where's he at right now? What do you think he's doing?
Oh, man. I hope he was making more of those cookies. Remember those cookies?
Listen,
Those
my-
cookies were so good. He had like little heart chocolate chips
They
in
were
them.
so good.
How did he do that?
I don't know. I don't know how he... Oh, my God.
Listen, my theory is that every Isaac is equal, but just different in their representation. So he's probably really dumb or like a racist or something.
He helped me learn how to read.
Yeah. He taught me about apartheid.
See, that seems like a negative. So what I'm trying to say is that...
And he took me out for some part Thai food.
Yep. There you go.
It's a fusion? Is that...
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I'm sure he's cool, but, you know, all Isaacs in all the dimensions are probably cool. It sounds like...
Yeah, then how did we get stuck with this one?
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a lot of parallel universes, and when you decided to create this stupid device, which, by the way,
Hey,
totally
I want credit for that.
Yeah,
too.
Malik actually built it. I just didn't want to pay $1.50.
I'm giving you both blame, not credit.
It's a really cool device.
It's so cool. Have you seen it?
We're never going to pay another
You
toll
messed
again.
with the fabric of space-time, splitting us into some sort of parallel realities, and you probably got one parallel Isaac who didn't realize he was with the shittier version of the Drake.
What do you think Parallel Nathan and Malik are doing?
Ooh, I don't know.
Probably some really cool things.
I bet you, I don't know. Parallel Nathan's probably some idiot somewhere. You know, fucking up a spaceship.
I bet you Parallel Malik's taken over the world. The universe.
I bet you.
Anyway, I'm glad we just watched this movie because
Yeah.
I think it's
Oh, yeah.
good reference material
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
what we're experiencing. I haven't
Superpowers?
Nothing went wrong in that movie.
I can't think of it seemed like everything ended okay. Made a whole bunch of friends.
Well, I mean, Spider-Man died.
What's Spider-Man?
No.
Peter Parker, the blonde one.
Oh, the ugly one.
The blonde one?
Yeah.
Why was he
handsome.
ugly?
Because he was blonde. I don't like blondes.
She's like a reverse Aryan.
They freak me out.
But I like that movie. That movie was so cool. Like I like went into it like kind of liking it because I like the Spider-Man movies were kind of crescendoing up, and then I heard great things about this one, and like it didn't let down at all. Oh, it was so good.
I think one of the many reasons why I want to see the Spider-Verse again and again and again is that the animation was so stellar that I got distracted. Like, I know that there were plot points and there's songs and everything's happening, and I was just like, this is just beautiful. Like, the way it kind of, like, subtly moves and in and out of focus, and that it's the same animation, but that it's also different, if that makes sense. Like,
I get it.
it seems like it's done by the same animator, but with different motivations. I don't know. It was beautiful. And it was distractingly so. So I was like, wait, what's happening?
It is a beautiful movie, just art wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we were up on the bridge before it, a little while back, and the computer put on like a bunch of movie trailers, and this was one of the trailers that came on, and I think all of us stopped what we were doing just to watch this trailer, this 2 minute long trailer of it. And like the whole movie is like Malik said, it's beautiful, and the way they did it, and it's a comic, like they even have like the thought bubbles up in the air and stuff like that, and
The sound effects, like when they're going through the forest and it's like a thwip.
yeah, you
And
see
a
the thwips.
Thwip, and it like he's calling it a thwip because
Yeah.
that's the sound effect. It's beautiful.
I just no every little bit of it, every little nod to the comic books that like even the wiggles for the spider sense.
Yeah.
They do the dot shading and a bunch of it. Like I love watching it, just looking at it.
The pointing, you're like me.
Yeah.
But they
the
all
end?
say they all say it. No.
Oh, you're right.
yeah.
I
You're
was
right.
like, you're like me.
Oh, my goodness.
Motherfucker, that's right.
Well, no, yeah, you're right. On the point of the animation, like, they were doing so many very purposeful choices, and I guess you have to when it's this expensive to create something, but
Yeah.
the fact that Kingpin was so comically
He was
disproportionate
Yeah.
in his blockiness
Yeah.
is just like, as soon as you see that, you know what you're doing for the rest of the movie. Like, you know what they're doing with everything. It's
Yeah.
so on purpose.
like they make him just this massive imposing thing, and I don't know. I love
Inhuman,
the way
completely inhuman. He's
Yeah.
not even really,
And I've got two things on that. To finish up with, I think that all of the Marvel movies should be animated. I think that really allows you to release yourself from this. We have this actor doing a thing. We have to be kind of serious. But animated movies aren't as marketable, which I understand why they had to decide to make them live action. But it's just, they're better. Like, you can really do a comic when you animate. Because that's what it is. It's original medium, which means that's the best it's going to be. And so doing it live action, I think, subtracts, which is why I think the Spider-Man was so good, number one. Two, about Fisk. They've been doing that for a while now, making him this bigger and bigger imposing
They seem
character.
to get bigger and bigger every other year.
Like we even saw in Spider-Man, right? Like the Spider-Man game, I mean for PS4, he like almost kicks Spider-Man's ass, and you're like, he's a human. He's not any special powers. He's just like a big dude.
I was going to ask you about that.
Kingpin, quotation marks.
Like he's just a guy, right?
Yeah. But like in more and newer iterations, they're making him more and more powerful. But I don't know if you've seen, I know, Isaac, Daredevil, and it's supposed to be the same guy, right? He's just a human.
Just a guy.
He's just a guy, which is what it's supposed to be. And so, listen, I still enjoyed it. It didn't take away from me at all. It kind of looked like an Eggman, and I enjoy that. Fisk, that is. But, yeah, we've been talking about the increase of power, and it was interesting to see it in this movie.
Kingpin was the top enforcer, bruiser, for the leader of a, like, mafia. And he was known for his ruthlessness, and then he ended up becoming, like, the right-hand man for this guy. When that guy started to become ill, he snapped his neck. And I'm referencing...
Goodness.
I'm referencing The Man Without Fear, that comic I told you, like, I'm just effusive about how great it is.
Yeah.
You see him come out of the darkness and just snap this guy's neck, and then everyone else is already under Kingpin, and then he's like the de facto leader. I don't think that's how the story goes in the in the Netflix series, but basically that's how I think of it as like the classic story of Kingpin is like. So it also kind of explains his incredible fighting ability and strength, because he wasn't just a smart guy; he was the toughest guy in Hell's Kitchen, you know, like the biggest, strongest guy. So, you know, it kind of explains that. I mean, if you try to relate him to like Batman, and Batman throws a punch and it hurts Spider-Man, you go, okay, I can get that. This guy's at the top of physical ability for sure. Still, what happens in Spider-Man and in Spider-Verse, where Kingpin is like fighting them on even terms, not
it's
quite.
A bit much,
Not quite, because Spider-Man can lift cars and shit. So I don't know if that's quite right, but they have to make the villain.
And if we're being fair to Spider-Verse, I mean, I know he does initially kill the blonde Spider-Man, the one that exists in Miles Morales' timeline. But it was after he had already been like super weakened and injured.
Yeah, he was
fighting 3 supervillains at once.
Yeah. And then the other Spider-Man, he like he kind of kicks Miles Morales' butt, but he's like 13, 14 years old, new to being a Spider-Man.
2 days, he said.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Learned about his powers that afternoon.
I think it's a really good way to start off a villain, right? You have to... If you start out with, like, the hardest villain and a baby Spider-Man beats him, where do you go from there?
Right.
So if you start with kind of, honestly, a low-level thug in the Spider-Man universe, okay, we've got places to go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is he like, I'm completely ignorant here, but is he like just like a grunt in the rogue gallery of Spider-Man villains?
Definitely not.
No.
He's definitely a main villain. I would say, though, if you're talking about like power levels, to reference that, Kingpin is a pretty standard Spider-Man villain.
He's just a guy.
Yeah, but he started out as a Daredevil villain, and he started out as Daredevil's like strongest villain. So if you think of Daredevil as way weaker than Spider-Man, just objectively, Kingpin being his top means he's kind of near the middle of Spider-Man's.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like, now you also have Green Goblin, the Rhino,
Doc
the
Ock.
Lizard, Doc Ock, who are just, this guy is nothing to them, you know, but...
Which is why I think it was super cool. I was so into when the female, like, physicist turns out to be Doc Ock.
Right.
I lost my mind. Like, my arms and my legs went out into the air. I'm sure you guys saw it. I was like, ah! She's like, actually, my friends call me Liv, but...
My enemies.
Call me
Doc Ock. And then she gets her cool-ass robot arms, which are, you know... She's way stronger than Fisk is, and she's supposed to be working for him. And so I loved seeing her, and I loved seeing her as a female. I loved that gender bend. It was great.
And there's something I love. There's actually also something I love about Doc Ock in general, in the comics, in the iterations, is he's similar to Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom, I was about to say.
In the sense that he's clearly insane. And
But he thinks he's doing it for good.
Right. The implants, or if not, at least for some good.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the moral good, but definitely to a purpose. Not cackling amongst the ashes or conquering or destroying the world.
He's not a carnage.
There was a run on Spider-Man they did, I think it was actually just a one-shot comic, but where Spider-Man is fighting Doc Ock, and he's like, without any realizing what Doc Ock is doing. Doc Ock's been stealing certain chemicals and stuff, and Spider-Man follows him and tracks him to his lab, and they're fighting, and Doc Ock is fighting Spider-Man with 2 arms, or maybe all 4, and using his regular human arms to like type and do work.
Oh man.
And Spider-Man's like, okay, I gotta stop him. And he actually gets close. He starts webbing up arms, and he's like coming close to stopping him. And then Doc Ock stops all resistance and just lets him take him in because he failed. He failed at what he was trying to do. And what it was is he was actually trying to cure cancer.
Aww.
Because somebody that he cared about was going to die very soon or something like that. So Doc Ock was actually robbing like labs and doing his own work on it, and he's like, it didn't work. Like my theory didn't work, and then he just let Spider-Man take him in. So the point is like, and then when Spider-Man finds that out, it's like a super sad ending. He's like, holy shit, I was fighting him to stop him because I didn't know what he was doing because I just assumed it was evil. But really, he did the wrong things to get to a specific end. So and I think that's a good summary of Doc Ock, is he's a more complex character, especially if you consider like the superior Spider-Man and things like that.
And then we also learn that the reason why Doc Ock, in most cases, like the Spider-Man PS4 game, the reason why Doc Ock has to move to these kinds of methods is because he doesn't get the funding that he needs. So if we just funded the sciences, Doc Ock wouldn't be a villain.
Message!
It's so funny you say that because I was thinking when we were playing that game how much I appreciated like all the science things. When you do all the science puzzle games, like the mini games, like the spectrograph thing and the voltage, like
my favorite parts. Yeah,
that's actually kind of close to like doing some real science there, and that's clearly inspired by real science. And of course, it's a stupid puzzle mini game. It's not really giving you anything, but it's so close. Doing spectrographs, like that's real shit, that you can do in a lab. And I just think it was really inspired, and it was fun.
And it was a great breakup between just like fighting and swinging. Not that I don't like doing either of those things, but it was. I really enjoyed those puzzles. I didn't like being Mary Jane taking pictures, but I did very much like the science puzzles, and even like the weird science experiments. Even if some of them were lame, like swing through a cloud, but it was still like you were doing it for a reason, and that felt worthwhile.
And by the way, if the lesson you took from that is doing science is doing tedious shit over and over.
Yeah.
Correct. Tedious stuff to get to some end that actually matters. And then if you explain what you're doing to anyone, they're like, I would never do that.
Yeah.
Take a sample of pond water 3 times a day, every day for 10 years. Yeah, that might get a little boring.
Yeah. But we found out the chlorine levels are rising by 0.04%. 0.04!
You're screaming that in front of Congress and they don't care. One more point I wanted to say about this was, to your point about funding science, it sounded almost like the opposite when you look at this, because how many of Spider-Man's villains are mad scientists? How many? Or the result of mad science?
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, are we pro-science or are we anti-science?
Listen, it's chaotic and we don't understand, but there's responsibility involved. That's all we really know.
If you're brilliant in science, you're probably a bad guy. That's what science comics say.
Well, you're Spider-Man.
Or you're Spider-Man. But that's the minority, though.
Yeah, there's only one Spider-Man, and how many, like, insane scientists?
I'm going to go ahead and say there's not one Spider-Man based on the movie we just watched.
Oh, got him.
I've seen a documentary that said there's at least 5.
But speaking of, I loved it. I mean, I originally saw the trailer and I had some doubts. Like, Spider-Pig seemed like really, really hokey, and I was like, this is going to be something I don't enjoy. But I thought they used him appropriately. I love John Mulaney doing the voice of him. I didn't feel like they overused any corny jokes. It was like silly and fun, and it was quick and over. Yeah,
I think, they used him just the right amount. Like he was. Brick in the first Anchorman. Like, he was in it just enough for it to be hilarious. If they used him any more or any less, like, it just...
Same thing with the kawaii Japanese girl.
Oh,
like, they did just enough of that. I was like, okay, this is cute. And I know Isaac was...
Penny Parker or something like that?
Penny Parker.
Yeah.
Penny. And Isaac was really into that storyline. I think he wants to read the manga now.
I do. Yeah, if there's more about her, I want to do it. 'Cause like you said, I think that they utilized it well. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were going for. I'm not saying that she's the best one or anything like that. I was just saying that, like, I actually appreciated her presence. She's so different from the rest of them.
Yeah.
I think, and going back to Spider-Ham, Spider-Pig? Spider-Ham.
Like Who cares?
Spider-Ham.
John Mulaney.
I think, and even Penny. I think what they did and what really helped is they gave him a badass moment in the fight. Like, he fights, I don't know, what's it, Scorpion, I assume is his name. But, like, he fights him with, like, he does it with a cartoon hammer that he pulls out of his pants. But, like, he's super badass about it. Like, he was like, oh, I'm a fucking cartoon, and then he like kicks his ass in like the coolest way ever.
Yeah.
And, like, I think he saves Penny. He saves one of them.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But like, and Penny has that cool moment where I think she fights two of them. But you know, the robot gets
and eating candy.
So like, yeah, they're like Spider-Ham especially was like, you know, goofy and weird and kind of very different from all the other ones. But they did it in like just the right way where like I'd like, come on, he's hilarious. What, do animals talk in this universe? Like, that's hilarious.
I didn't feel like, yes, kids, this is a movie for all ages. And yes, kids would like the Spider Pig more. But it wasn't like Minions, where I feel like are almost exclusively for children.
Yeah.
Or Olaf from Frozen. Like, this was an instance where they used a character that was goofy that kids would like, but like adults were still like, this is funny.
Yeah.
I can see it's like a Looney Tunes kind of thing. Maybe possibly a Simpsons throw in, you know, this is funny and not over the top, and they didn't kill it.
And I like it. I totally agree with you. I think that they were utilizing them differently too, which is really good. They realized who the big characters were, which was everyone other than Gwen, Peter Parker, and Miles, right?
Yeah.
Those are the three main characters. Mm-hmm. And everyone else, they were used as big characters, and they did them well. They used them the right amount. They showed that everyone had different kind of abilities. They even kind of make that explicit when they're all grilling Miles about what he can do.
Yeah.
Spider-Ham or Pig or whatever uses an anchor at one point. Like, okay, if you're in a cartoon universe, that seems like kind of the double barrel approach, right? You can drop an anchor on someone.
Or a piano.
Yeah. And Kimiko, the Penny or whatever, can hack and whatever wall. She's got like two minds going on.
Yeah.
Noir was clearly like a brawler when he's like doing that 30s like fisticuffs thing. And it's like, you know, they all have like their stuff, and I just thought that they did it really well. I completely agree with you.
And I personally, I mean, I don't want to sound like an expert. I've only read one Spider-Gwen graphic novel, but it was very cool. I loved her. And it felt like they did this, and then they made the movie. You get what I mean? Like, she looks like the character in the graphic novel. The story they're telling, you know how it was kind of vague? How she says that Peter Parker is dead?
Yeah.
She's directly responsible for his death.
Oh.
And not on, like, Peter Parker wasn't Spider-Man in that. She did it. And so I loved it because she doesn't want to tell them. Like, she's still, like, everybody's tortured by...
I'm sorry, wait, we need to go back. So, hold on. Peter Parker wasn't even Spider-Man at all in her universe.
No.
He's just a guy.
He was a friend of hers who had got, like, the crocodile thing or whatever, because...
That's right, you told me about this.
Yeah.
He's the crocodile in that universe, right?
That was awful.
No, the crocodile, not the lizard. The crocodile.
Might have been the lizard. I'm hazy now on it.
I think you said it was the crocodile. But
probably.
Yeah.
But what happens, what's interesting is everybody else is like they've lost their uncle or they've lost somebody close to them, and Spider-Gwen's lost Peter Parker. And so I love that she's like seeing all these Peter Parkers, and how hard is that for her?
Understanding that he was kind of the cross point of the universe.
And every other universe, it's Peter Parker or this pig. I don't know what the pig's doing.
I think his name is Peter Porker.
Peter Parker, Porker or something. Yeah.
But you get this idea, but now there's her, solitary female, and Peter Parker died in her arms. Like, it's so hard. It's a difficult emotional situation, and I love that they included her. And I also like that she's Spider-Gwen, but she's also Spider-Woman. Mm-hmm. They make a point of that in there, right? She's some Spider-Woman. And it's like, what would he be? Spider-Boy? No, he's Spider-Man.
Exactly. Yeah, because, you know, as Peter Parker became Spider-Man in his teens, and she became Spider-Woman in her teens, don't call her Spider-Girl if you don't call him Spider-Boy. I mean,
Yep. I know, I think the graphic novel is called Spider-Gwen, but...
Yeah, but that's not gender related.
People refer to her as Spider-Woman because they don't know her name is Gwen. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I loved seeing her, and then that last cutscene. I don't know if it was the very end of the movie, part of the credits, where you kind of hear her trying to talk to Miles while he looks to be sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I love it because they make allusions to that in the graphic novel too. In the first one, where she's able to move in between the dimensions.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. Well, that's cool.
And I don't necessarily know if that's one of her powers, or like once the Spider-Verse has been open, if they can find ways to move through it. Like, I don't know if that's one of her things. Because again, I only read the first volume. So
she was the first one to do it, right? If you follow the timeline.
She did move a week before the rest of them.
Right. That was before the Collider had really started.
Yeah.
So it could be something that her would... And that makes sense, too, because Miles is bitten by a spider that almost looks like it was placed there.
It's not really supposed to be in the universe.
It's glitchy.
Yeah. So maybe it came over with her, and
actually, I have a question for you. In Spider-Gwen, she was always supposed to be the spider person, right? In her universe, Peter Parker was going to be the crocodile. He wasn't going to be Spider-Man.
From the way they start it, is she's already has it. She's been bitten by the spider, and they're already dealing with the crisis. Like, Harry Osborn is already gone because he can't deal with the ramifications of Peter Parker's death, and she's by herself, and it's a year later.
Oh, it starts a year after his death?
She already has this, and we're going through the background dealing with the damage that she has.
Oh.
And
but for what I'm saying is that like, she didn't like interfere with the timeline in any way. She was the Spider
was gonna
person.
be
yeah, not from my understanding. It sounds like, I mean, maybe they were both in the same location because they were friends. So maybe like, you know, when we're talking about the Tobey Maguire one where he's taking a picture and a spider bites him, maybe it was Gwen was in the way kind of thing. And like happenstance, which makes sense when you're talking about multi-dimensions, that a simple like 3 seconds difference.
Yep.
But they don't, not in the first volume do they get into that.
So yeah, what... Christ, I forgot why I went into that. Shit.
Isaac saw a spider in the corner and started getting ideas. Trust me, I've been bitten by these spiders so many times. You don't get superpowers. You just get, like, rashes. And
it's what's interesting is you keep telling me that, and I keep telling you, yeah, duh, and you keep trying to get bitten by spiders.
One of them has to give me superpowers, right?
No, not at all.
I don't think you know how spiders work.
Something else that I really enjoyed, it made me less sad, which, I mean, it's when I say this, it's going to be like, that's really heartless. But from how I know Miles Morales is that he loses his dad. Like, his dad dies in front of him. Oh. And Spider-Man couldn't do anything to stop it. That's the thing, right?
Is that? I don't know.
Well, Isaac? They do it in the video game, and then I know the PS4 video game, and then I know that the storyline for Miles Morales is his dad dies.
Oh.
And so them killing his uncle was pretty messed up because clearly he had a better relationship with him. Or not better. I want to say like he had a more compatible.
I think he did have a better, you know, up until his death. I think because I mean when he was having all those problems and he ran away from school, he ran straight to his uncle's house. He didn't go to his parents' house.
I'd like to say relatable because this is because you relate to somebody better doesn't mean your relationship is better. He felt like he could talk to his uncle. That doesn't mean he wasn't close to his mom and his dad equally. This was somebody who like was on. They were both artists.
Yeah, and
so for him to lose his uncle was hard. It's not the same as losing your dad.
True.
And so I thought when they killed his uncle that they were also going to kill his dad. And I was like, that's too much.
That's too many deaths.
That's too much for this young boy.
Well, also, consider how much more damaging that is because his uncle, in a sense, died to protect him.
Yeah.
Because in the movie, he was ready, like, he was going to kill Miles and then realized who he was.
And then couldn't
and then took the bullet.
Yeah.
So, unlike Ben in the original story, who dies kind of incidentally because Peter Parker's being an asshole, that's not what's going on here. You know?
Yeah, it was more of a direct thing.
Yes and no, but I feel like, okay, yes, Peter Parker let him step aside, but if someone shoots a man, they shoot a man, that's not your fault. And so, I don't think so. I think it's exactly the same. Yes, this guy his uncle decided not to kill him, but Fisk shot him from the ground up, you know what I mean? Like, you're not responsible for the person who actually murdered that person. Just because you were, yes, the reason why your uncle died was because he was chasing after you. I mean, as a kid, you would say that. As anybody who felt love for somebody, but I think it's no. You're looking at me.
No. This is the heart, and I'm so glad we came into this. This is the heart of that main Spider-Man making moment, right? Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire or the original comics. It's the same thing. It's that Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is such a good guy that he has this moment of like really being an asshole, essentially being a bad guy. Where he lets someone get away with something because someone hurt him. Someone said, you know, oh, I'm going to take advantage of you or whatever. And all he wants is to get with, you know, his sweetheart. And so when he does all this whole thing and then doesn't get paid, so that means he can't get the car, which means that he cannot get with this girl. He's like, he becomes a negative kind of bad person. And as a result of him choosing to not be a good person, his uncle dies. Now, does that make him responsible? That's debatable. That's absolutely debatable.
No, and I don't
but
even
I think
say,
that's what he struggles with. And I think that has all to do with the biggest moments in Spider-Man's career, including, and I think they referenced this they referenced it in the video game, which I thought was hilarious. But if you didn't know that that's what it is, when he says that the term Spider-Man no more, that's on the cover of the edition where Spider-Man decides not to do it. And they reference it in the Tobey Maguire ones. That's like a classic thing. So there's certain phrases, right, that Spider-Man uses. Mm-hmm. But that's part of it, is this struggle between how much am I responsible for? Can I be a person, or do I have to be this superhero?
But I think...
So you nailed it, is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I guess my follow-up to that is Spider-Man is human. And so when you say that he made a bad choice, letting somebody go makes you it wasn't a bad choice. It was a human choice. Someone took advantage of you. This person came and robbed them, and then you let them go. Yes, you could have stopped them, but is that a bad choice?
Okay, let me give you another scenario. If I see a disabled person getting beaten up, I mean, I have the power to stop that from happening. What if I keep walking?
Is that the same?
Isn't it? I have the power to stop this from happening. Yeah. I have the power to stop a bad thing from happening.
But this is somebody who can't protect themselves, you would assume, because they were disabled.
Well, Ben couldn't protect himself either in this scenario.
Ben. I'm talking about the guy who was robbed.
I know.
What Spider-Man did was he didn't stop this terrible cheat, horrible human being.
And why didn't he stop
from being robbed? Because he had robbed him.
Yeah, the guy who was being robbed Peter. So he didn't stop the bad guy who was physically robbing.
Yeah. And then that guy killed his uncle.
That doesn't seem like clear karma there? Like,
sure, I get why someone would feel guilt for that, but that doesn't mean that, like, what he did was quotation marks bad.
Well, I disagree with you, but I do think it's debatable. And that's why I think it's so great.
Yeah.
I think that Peter has either forgiven himself or doesn't care anymore when he hangs up the mask, right? In one of those turning moments, the second turning moment of the Spider-Man series, where he hangs up the mask, he's kind of saying, like, I don't care anymore, or I have to forgive myself for Ben's death.
Or I can't deal with what I've done.
Yeah.
But I feel like Peter's is more at least compelling in the, okay, fine, I can comprehend that. But, like, Miles's, his uncle was a part of this crime group before he was even involved. If he hadn't been part of the Spider-Verse, these other Spider-Men would have been here probably being attacked by his uncle. So that his uncle died was only because...
But I think his uncle dying, Miles, is a lot more of a direct cause for him, because he had him, by the throat, and it was gonna kill him, and then he removes his mask, and once he realized it's his nephew, he stops, and in him stopping, Kingpin sees it and kills him. Kingpin wouldn't have shot him if he went ahead and killed Spider-Man.
But his uncle he knew that the kid that was the baby Spider-Man was a kid. So his uncle had no problem hunting down another 13, 14-year-old boy.
Fucked up.
He was just like, I'm going to draw the line at my nephew. He wasn't a good guy. I'm not saying that, like, relieves Miles of any guilt that he has, but this man had no problem hunting down a child.
Yeah, but I don't think they gave any illusions that he was, like, a really good, you know what I mean? Because, like, I think his dad even mentions, he's like, my brother and I kind of
took different paths,
and then, like, they go and they spray paint in the sewers or wherever. And
as
as I do with my 14-year-old nephew. Yeah. He goes out of town, and he's completely unreachable as the Prowler.
But what's interesting about that is I'm usually the person who's, like, trying to get seen before the scene happens. Mm-hmm. And because I was so wrapped up in the animation and everything that was happening, I didn't immediately get that his uncle was the Prowler.
Agreed.
I really didn't.
And I feel like they were leaving clues. Like,
and I didn't know that the girl was Doc Ock either.
Yeah.
Nope.
I missed a bunch of stuff
because
that was
we were just
clear.
Like,
it's obvious.
Whoa, this is so cool. And then suddenly it happened. I was like, that's so cool.
Because, like, if you start the movie with Green Goblin and Kingpin and, like, all these other people being referenced, Doc Ock's gonna come up.
Yeah.
You see that it's, like, every Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
It's weird that Mysterio wasn't in it. I mean, it's like...
Maybe he was the one pulling the strings the whole time.
I think actually... Damn, that was good.
That final scene was really trippy.
I was thinking, though, but is Jake Gyllenhaal maybe in the crowd somewhere?
It's gotta be.
Animated version? I'm sorry, go ahead. Yep, that's how I would feel, too.
But no, I feel like, I mean, now that I've seen it and I know, but, like, I feel like even though now that I've seen it and I know, but as soon as he went to his apartment when he was running from the Prowler, like I knew at that point, but like I was hoping in my heart
It wasn't.
that was like maybe he's just hiding there and the Prowler's gonna be there.
Still didn't.
No,
You're ahead of me.
like I was like, oh no, his uncle's gonna be the Prowler, isn't it? I was like, no.
Yeah.
He tracked him there. He's got those heat-seeking goggles. He's gonna see him. That's all it is. And then he took off his stupid fucking mask, and I was like, God damn it! I knew this is stupid. Oh, it was awful.
Also, you're a supervillain with all this advanced technology and presumably some sort of superpowers. But you still go back to your regular apartment at the end of the day. That means you're not like a high-tier supervillain, right?
It's rent controlled. Utilities are included.
How much do you think you get paid as like a supervillain henchman? Kingpin's got a lot of money, but is it one of those fields where like you don't get paid at all until you get to the top?
I think they're funding his suit.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of it. I think he's paying back his suit,
right?
Especially those electro claw things, and he's got that bike. You know, like.
And I'm sure they're not stopping him from doing any side jobs.
How do you get into that field? Is that on Monster? Is there a filter?
Craigslist, probably.
You got to work your way up as a henchman, a regular henchman.
You have to join a gang and then like show you're tougher than other people.
Yeah.
Maybe be blinded or have super scent or something.
Yeah, you got to do a couple years of grunting. You know, you got to work your way up the ranks. You don't start out. Yep. You don't just start out with a purple motorcycle and electro claws. You gotta be the guy that gets knocked out by Spider-Man on a rooftop once or twice.
Or Spider-Ham.
Or Spider-Ham.
Occupational hazards, for sure.
I loved it. I like Spider-Gwen particularly. I think she's probably... It's a toss-up. I don't know if you guys want to talk about who our favorites are.
But we've gotten way off topic.
What?
Aren't we supposed to be addressing why there was a Phantom Isaac on the ship? Like, as a doppelganger.
No, it wasn't. A doppelgangers are supposed to be like similar, right?
Yeah.
He's so much better.
Way better. My pager is going off, and it looks like I've got a 911 from other Malik.
Why do you have a pager?
There's another Malik.
You don't have a pager? Yeah, I'm curious about other Malik as well. Maybe I'll just give her a quick call on the payphone and figure out what she wants.
Is it a BlackBerry or like an actual pager?
It's a pager.
This is what I'm concerned with.
You have to send like coded messages. I don't get what you don't understand about a pager.
She's got it hooked to her belt and everything.
And now I'm going to go call her back.
I mean, this is thousands of years after pagers were a thing. I just don't understand how that's the most...
God, I miss the other Isaac.
Yeah. He would have understood.
He has a pager.
Yeah. All right, let me call that bitch real quick. Oh, hi. Is this other Malik? Chill. What's that? A cool party? Guys, we've been invited to a cool party.
All right. I'm in.
Oh, wait. She says we have to create a 3-minute PowerPoint presentation on any topic and present it in front of the party before we're allowed any alcohol.
Y'all bitches about to learn some shit about macrame tonight.
I think that sounds cool. I think that's a good premise. Yeah, we're in. What time? Midnight. What party starts at midnight?
Oh, so late.
All right, yeah, we'll be there. Where is there? Lower decks. You guys okay going to the lower decks?
No!
Oh, God, no.
I mean, it sounds really cool, though.
It does sound cool.
Yeah, we'll be there. See ya.
Well.
I think this sounds really cool. Are you guys in?
I mean, the opportunity to meet another Dimensions version of me.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
But, like, what do I wear?
I think you have to wear, like, a blue shirt, because then other Malik is going to wear a red shirt.
But I like red more.
Oh.
So,
that's the point, right?
But then are we both going to be wearing blue shirts looking our worst?
Oh, I hope not.
I think I'm going to wear my fur coat. And if she's wearing her fur coat, then, like, chill.
She might wear leather? I don't know what the
opposite of fur.
Yeah.
I like that.
Huh. I'm going fur. We'll see what she does.
I'm gonna go red and black like Miles Morales. I'll go ahead and defer to him as being Peter Parker, and I'll be the Miles Morales. And
okay.
Dye my jumpsuit red and black.
Is that your favorite of the characters in Spider-Verse?
Not even close.
What?
Is that what we're doing?
I'm just asking.
We're doing favorites?
Felt like a good segue.
It seemed like a good one, yeah.
So we're doing favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Computer, give me a drop for that. For the segment change.
Computer's playing free cell.
All aboard, motherfucker!
All right, all aboard for the new topic.
No, I was like thinking like a fanfare, like a musical drop, but that's fine.
Nope.
Yeah.
All aboard the hype train to topic B.
That's fine. So, no, yeah. So if we're doing favorite Spider people
In the verse.
in Spider-Verse, it's Peter Parker. Still Peter Parker.
The older
I'm
one?
vanilla, yeah.
The older one. Like
Well-
the one that we see with the gut and the sweatpants.
So I'm talking about like comic Spider-Verse,
Uh-huh.
and actually, I probably prefer the blonde one.
No!
I know it's upsetting to you, but I mean,
He's too Aryan.
he's closer to the real one.
I guess. Fine. You can have it. I'll let you
I can have
that.
whoever I like the best.
I'll let you have that, but
You're allowed to have your opinion.
But I think what they're saying in the Spider-Verse is like generic blonde Spider-Man is like kind of lame. Like, yeah, he's super helpful and great and fantastic. Yeah. But you know what's better? Like fat Spider-Man. He's better. He's got more room for growth and development.
he's fatter? Oh.
No, I just feel like when you have a character that is perfect, then where's the struggle? Like he says, I'm so tired. And that's what we get from the blonde Spider-Man. But that's like, he dies and that's terrible. And I get it.
When I die, I don't want to have Malik give my eulogy.
Yeah.
I guess I like a flawed Spider-Man.
I understand that, and I get that for story purposes, you don't want the better one because you want a character who can grow. I'm saying
You like the perfect Spider-Man.
in the Spider-Verse, Peter Parker is a thing, and this is the one it's supposed to be. Other than blonde, he's not blonde, but Peter Parker is this guy.
In the Spider-Verse, you like the blonde Peter Parker best.
I'm saying Amazing Spider-Man, the main run of Spider-Man, is my favorite.
The one who's like, yeah,
Spider-Man.
I'll teach you how to be a Spider-Man.
Yes.
That guy.
Yes.
That's your favorite.
Yes.
The one who dies like first 15 minutes.
I mean,
Again, I'm not really referencing the movie exactly.
Sure,
I'm
sure.
saying as the Spider-Verse goes.
Okay.
The original is the best.
Okay.
and in all fairness, I mean, the one with the gut was that Spider-Man. Like
Yeah.
at some point,
He was.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just
he's-
10 years later.
And
Yeah.
dark haired. They're like, your hair.
So his hair is different.
Yeah.
But like they said, he's like that same guy, but 10 years later.
Yeah.
So how do we know the blonde one wouldn't have been that same thing?
Well, I like it because you get to see like
Because he said he was tired. So you're right. Maybe that's a reference to this is just 10
who's
years
gonna
earlier.
be? Yeah.
He's going to be this in
10 years later, his relationship with Mary Jane's
Falls
messed
apart,
up.
yeah.
He has to wear sweatpants. He's just, his life is difficult, but
Yeah.
he's still fighting crime.
he's doing his best.
He's a good guy.
And still a good guy.
Yeah.
Willing to get pulled apart in the most painful way possible.
And he's
to
willing
save others. Yeah.
to be emotional. He's willing to tell any Mary Jane all of his feelings. That, I think, is a positive growth on Spider-Man, and not in like a cancerous way. Positive growth.
That's a positive cancerous growth.
I said not a cancer. It's a positive growth.
Malik has a loose understanding of what tumors are.
Well, I mean, positive, like it's increased, and so
Yes.
you could say any increase is positive, but not necessarily. It was a negative positive increase.
So this is essentially the same Spider-Man as like Civil War, right?
The fat one,
No.
the blonde
The
one.
10 years in one is...
Yes, because he's tired. I think
He's
just
getting
engaged.
right. Yes, he's getting right at that point where he's conflicted. I think it's important that
Yeah.
that's what's going on.
And that's
But
fair
anyway,
because I do like Civil War Spider-Man,
yes.
except that he joins the wrong team apparently.
But he joins both teams, right?
Yeah,
Which is wrong.
He's the middle, so anyway.
yeah, but he does give out his name. That was something else. I don't want to do like a weird transition here, but I'm going to. When blonde Peter Parker dies in Spider-Verse, the news just starts saying that Spider-Man was Peter Parker.
Wouldn't they?
Sure.
I mean, they would.
Sure.
totally would.
But like the whole reason why he kept his name private was to protect his family. And
Yeah.
so now that means Mary Jane, Aunt May are just all open to all of Spider-Man's villains. And just because
Well-
Spider-Man's dead doesn't mean they don't want to hurt the people he loved.
Yeah.
Like, we figured it out, guys. Now go ahead and make everybody in his family a target. Cool.
Which brings me into another thing. I really like this push towards Aunt May being cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Like every iteration of Spider-Man makes her a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
I like that she like beat somebody's ass with a bat in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was like ready for
Take
Miles.
It outside.
Yeah.
And was
Go
ready for
outside.
Miles.
Yeah.
She's like, it's about time or whatever.
Yeah.
She knew he was gonna like come into his own. This was, that was cool.
But they kept Mary Jane stupid.
Yeah, I didn't like Mary Jane.
She goes and does a speech at a Fisk party to celebrate Spider-Man.
She doesn't know who Kingpin is?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
And especially because she's supposed to be a reporter in all of the worlds, right? So that's nonsense. And then 2, she's meeting a guy who looks just like her dead boyfriend, but 10 years older and brown-haired.
I don't think she ever sees him.
She doesn't see his face. Yeah. They're all dressed like that.
He doesn't take it off? Okay, but his voice.
Right, his voice.
I'm saying you're with somebody for 10 years, you know what their voice sounds like.
Exact height.
Yeah.
And you would think she just wouldn't go to that event. Everyone's going to be dressed up like your dead husband.
Way.
Yeah.
No.
It's a little weird.
I would not go.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. That was a stupid scene. That was like the only bad thing in that movie to me.
Well, I liked that he couldn't control himself. I liked, yes, Mary Jane looked bad, but I liked that the Peter Parker from the other universe, I liked what they were doing there. They were showing that he was clearly still in love with her and he was struggling. And part of the reason why he was so resigned to be like, listen, I don't have to go back, because there's nothing there for him in his world. And so he saw Mary Jane looking 10 years younger and that nostalgia, and he couldn't stop himself. I didn't enjoy that part of it. It just, like, that makes Mary Jane look like a monster. You get what I mean?
Yes.
Like, there was part of that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And it explained why. He was just like, no, it's fine, Miles. I've got this.
She just shouldn't have been there. I think they were trying to continue his story arc.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't.
I think they could have had him look, like, starry-eyed at a poster of her for a while.
Or in his phone or something. Yeah.
I just liked how the conversation revolved around bread.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny. Come on, that's funny.
She's like, it's okay.
Yeah, I could have been there for you when you needed me, and I wasn't. She's like, you just get more bread, it's okay.
All right, let's. I know I derailed us. So, who's your favorite?
Mine?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Miles Morales, but I haven't. Like, he's cool and he's fun, but Peter Parker's quips are just like that's what I like. Because like.
Which?
Peter Parker. I don't the one in the comics, I guess.
So Peter Parker is the original. Peter B. Parker is the sweatpants guy. I believe.
I guess
I believe
they have
different middle names. I think
the original one. I don't know.
The blonde.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, technically, the original is actually the brown hair one. He's older,
they're the
right?
same, yeah.
But
I guess then
We're saying Earth 67 or Earth 66.
Yeah.
Is the original one.
Yeah.
But I guess I like the blonde one because I like his quips, because I think that's one of the reasons why I love Spider-Man so much, is because, like, you know, with all the suit, like, I mean, like, Captain America is right and wrong, and like Iron Man is like a robot, and, you know, Thor is a god, and Spider-Man is this high school kid and eventually a college kid, but like he's just like a kid, and like and they do it in Homecoming and stuff, but he's like starstruck with all, like, he's just a kid, and so that's what I like. I love the quips that Peter Parker has. And Miles is cool. I like Miles, but I haven't read like any of his stuff. I don't really know anything about him. I assume he's got quips because that's just Spider-Man's MO.
They gave him a couple. They gave him a couple in this one.
He did in the movie. Yeah, he's got some things, and so I like that. And I like Miles, and he's super cool, and I like him, and I like, you know, everything he does and how he is so different from all the other Spider-Mans, Spider Peoples.
There we go.
But
Spider People.
Spider things because there's a pig and a robot. But I don't know, Peter Parker, I love him. He's just a guy that happens to be able to lift cars and shoot webs out of his hands and stuff. So I think it's Peter.
I love that quip where he's fighting, I think it's the Prowler, and he goes, "Are you mad at me? It seems like you're mad at me."
I love that. All right, Malik, now tell us why you think blonde Peter Parker is your favorite.
Yeah, we're all going to just go around. Peter, what did you think was best about the blonde Peter Parker?
I'm really torn. I think...
Wait, can I ask you one follow-up really quick? I'm sorry.
Sure.
What's wrong with white nationalism? I guess.
Yeah.
Shut up.
If you're all white, it's all right.
I think that my knee-jerk would say, and it would be wrong, and so I'm not committing to that. I love, again, I've said it a million times, Spider-Gwen was so cool. I love the idea of a Spider-Woman. That doesn't mean she's my favorite. She's kick butt, but I didn't think her personality, we talked about whether or not she'd passed the Bechdel test. Is that Bechdel. We talked about whether or not she'd passed the Bechdel test, and no. She doesn't have a conversation with another female not about a male. And so, as cool and as badass as she is, it's not quite where I'd like her to be. I'd love for her to have her own movie. The second thing is, I have a soft spot for Noir, the Spider-Man Noir. Just because I read the graphic novel, and it's just kind of a cool thing. But the movie didn't really do it justice. But I'm going to go ahead and say I like Fat Spider-Man. Peter
I'm
B.
gonna say chubby. You don't really.
He's just got a bit of a belly.
Fine. Peter B. Parker, I think, is my favorite because I like me some flawed characters. I like that we know that Peter Parker always struggled with the responsibility that comes with being Spider-Man. And now imagine a pushing 40 Spider-Man. What is that like? Like, yeah, you still have the muscle. Like, you have the genetic ability to be able to do these things, but, like, you can't eat a whole pizza and not get a belly. He's ruined his relationships because all you can really do is fight crime. You live in a crappy apartment because what kind of job can you hold down as Spider-Man? I love the reality of it. And I also, to be positive on that, is that he comes back. He comes back to his world and he's like, no, I'm going to get Mary Jane back. I'm going to get in shape and I'm going to be the best Spider-Man I can be. So he has like this weird midlife crisis and then gets it back on track again. And not only, because we know that he plays also the regular Peter Parker with the blonde hair, the early one who dies, the same guy does the voice. But it sounds different. They are different characters. And I like the evolution. And I think it feels real and I enjoy it. I enjoy that. So I pick him.
I will, it's semi-related, but I do have they did another reboot kind of start over thing of the Spider-Man thing. And this one picks up where, and this might just be another retelling or something, Isaac, you might have to correct me. But Peter and Mary Jane were together and they do break it off. I think it's the chubby Spider-Man's like timeline. I think because they were in love and they were going to get married. And then on the wedding day, something happens and they don't get married. And so he continues on as Spider-Man. And at the very end, like he meets up with Mary Jane at the end of the first edition to like kind of rehash it and maybe try it again.
I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but Marvel has definitely a big soft spot for Spider-Man. I mean, if DC's thing is Superman, Marvel's is probably Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
The things they like most are probably Spider-Man and Wolverine, and just the X-Men in general are like Marvel's babies.
Yeah.
You know, to your point, you know that they got married in real life. You guys remember that?
Who?
Mary Jane and Spider-Man. They did a big ceremony where someone in a Spider-Man outfit and someone who looked like Mary Jane got married. Yeah.
Yikes.
I think it's kind of cool. I mean, it's weird, but it's also like, you know, we're just celebrating the characters and all that stuff. I thought it was kind of cool.
But I think there's kind of a lesson here. Like, we're about to go to a party where we're going to meet our alternate selves, right? And they seem really badass. Like, yours is better looking and into everything that you're not into, and he's a better friend.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So maybe some people prefer me, you know, a little pudgy.
I think he's more fiscally responsible.
He's an excellent mechanic.
Nathan, I hear yours is actually a pilot.
I'd actually sit at the pilot's chair.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's done, like, double axles in the air, and I think that's a pilot move.
It is.
Yeah.
I can't do those.
Can get multiple women naked in a jacuzzi. Yeah, it's fine.
About it.
And then mine is clearly like the best party planner in the world. But there's like something nice about being a flawed character. Like maybe we're the more likable characters.
I'd like to imagine. I'm an amiable chap.
Just like keep that in mind before we go downstairs.
Yeah.
And meet our better halves. All right. I got my jacket on. We're fair.
I should have made a sandwich. Maybe they'll have sandwiches there, right?
Most likely, like little like finger sandwiches.
Okay, I mean I'm not hungry.
Cucumber and sprouts.
Yeah, I'm not hungry. You know, just a bite. It's a long train ride.
God, it's such a weird coincidence that the site of the Galactic Rift is exactly where your party was. This is crazy.
I can still see the projector set up for where the PowerPoint presentations are supposed to happen.
All the party favors and the decorations are up, but there's nobody here.
They're beautiful. It's classy.
This is actually, it's classy and fun without it being too, kitschy.
It doesn't feel stuffy at all.
Yeah, like it doesn't feel like these decorations have to be up, but they are.
What's that? Is that a note?
Hold up.
Isaac, read this. You're best at it.
And I can't.
What? I'm sorry?
Read this note I found.
That's kind of insulting. It actually says from the better versions. But from the better versions, we noticed that there was a rip in your universe and blah, 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 yada, yada. We fixed it. but it required us going back to our dimension.
Aww.
Did they say yada yada?
No, that's me.
That's you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Mm.
Wish we could have kept the better Isaac.
Okay, well, the point is I gave you the meat of the story. Like, you can read it yourself.
Were they
no, I
nicer?
can't.
I mean, she seemed excited to meet me. I didn't get that from the letter they left.
Well, apparently they had to.
Well,
It smells like perfume, which was nice. That's a nice touch.
The lower decks never smell this nice, and I feel like I can sit down here.
I mean, we've got a nice space if we want to have a party.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a gift for each of us.
Oh.
Left for Nathan was a jug of moonshine.
Yeah, all right. Let's do this. I'm going to go blind.
This is stronger than grain alcohol, apparently.
Oh, we're going to hit this hard. I'm going to drive this ship.
For Malik was a Luger pistol.
Why?
What?
Don't
Off base on that one.
Nega Malik,
Totally
Nega
off
Malik
base.
doesn't know you too well.
All right. It's a different world, I suppose.
Maybe it's a higher honor in her universe to have an old German pistol. What did he leave you, Isaac?
Oh, that's right. So in the butt is a flash drive with the solutions to lots of unsolved mysteries in our dimension.
That is a good.
There it is.
That's a good
It's a
thing
lot
to
more
leave
useful.
me.
Look at that.
And I wish you had pointed it out for me because I think the mystery of finding it in the butt would have been the biggest problem.
Well, you seem so upset.
Yeah, but then you went ahead and figured it out for me.
Okay.
so-
She could have figured it out.
I'm a lot smarter than you, so I just had to make sure.
Wow. The other Isaac wouldn't have said that.
I miss the other Isaac so much. What did your Isaac leave you? Hopefully like a etiquette book or something.
No, yeah, he left me schematics for the ship.
And a bowl of grits.
Right. My favorite snack. But I don't understand these schematics. I'm not actually formally trained, so... Well, what did we learn, guys? We're the shitty versions of ourselves? Like, I don't...
I mean, maybe not we, you.
You, mostly.
What do you mean, me?
Yeah,
I mean...
it's you. I mean, you're the... I know I said that my favorite Peter Parker was the fat one, but you're kind of the fat one.
Pretty sure we're about the same.
He would've
Both
kept
levels of
this.
Isaac. I think across the universe is the same. So,
You never got to meet him.
Yeah. Oh, he was such a good guy.
So handsome.
as we all are.
He's the godfather of my children.
Mine too.
Useful since neither of you have kids, and
He
he's in another
adopted some
universe.
children for me.
He's in another universe, so I don't know how useful that's going to be for you.
He said he's going to send us gifts
It's spiritual.
on their birthdays. When was the last time you sent a gift to your godchild, Isaac?
I'm going to go back to my room, maybe cry in the shower like Spider-Man, and eat some pizza.
Yeah. I'm just going to go sit in bed for a minute. Or 4 weeks.
Wait a minute, hold on. Does that mean that there's an alternate version of the computer? Peter, is there an alternate computer?
Oh.
Well, what can you bring up the information on that? The Drake's computer?
Yeah, I wonder if the other Drake computer is... He's got to be better, right?
No data.
No data.
Yeah.
He's the computer's the constant in every universe, isn't he?
But you in another universe, the computer's kind.
I would love to be in that universe.
Like a nice computer? I can't even
It's
imagine
nice.
it.
All his
Oh my.
everything he says is just like, you're beautiful.
A not smug computer?
The sun is shining.
Nothing would make me happier.
Yeah.
Nope. Stuck with this asshole.
Yep. Will do.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Spider-Verse is good. Let's watch it again.
Taking
Bye.
a few more sandwiches.
Yeah.
Going to my room.
I'm gonna go tag some walls down in the subway.
Does she refer to herself as Other Amelia?
Yeah, she knows that she's in my universe.
Mhm.
Just like
So you meant
the
Other Malik then?
Who's Amelia?
Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't even
That
that
was
good.
good.
It wasn't
It
even
was
that
so
good,
good.
anyways.
No, I thought it was cool. It was cool what you were trying to do.
Yeah.
No, I saw 100% what you were doing, and I
God
loved every
damn.
second of it.
It was cool what you were trying to do, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, you did it. You were doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's exactly what we need to be doing. So
Yeah.
that was good.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Can I do it again? or
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
But you're not Amelia.
Yeah, you're not Amelia.
Amelia.
Mm-mm.
God damn.
Yeah.